Hey there, starting off this week's What's for Dinner, I am cooking up some ground beef and adding some Prego spaghetti sauce to it. This is a family staple in our house. I will be adding some cooked tortellini to this, and this is one of our go-tos for a fast and easy dinner on a work day. So it was a day that Cameron wasn't home. He was at his mom's for the weekend, and so I was able to add some Italian seasoning and some crushed red pepper, and then just to do things a little different, I put a little bit of brown sugar in the sauce also, and then just mix that all in. This was really good. It does have a spicy kick to it, which we do enjoy at our house. If you're not into spice, just leave the peppers out. So basically, I just cooked up a package of frozen tortellini with cheese. And I'm adding a little bit of salt to that water. And then when they're all cooked and drained, I just add the sauce right into the pot with the tortellini. And just give it all a stir. We had some cheesy garlic toast and some cottage cheese on the side. Next, I'm doing a little meal prepping here by putting a pork roast in the crock pot and adding some dehydrated onions, salt, pepper, and garlic powder. I'm just going to let this cook and then put it into the freezer for later, and then I'll be able to take it out and shred it and use it for meals on another day. And I'm also going to cook up all of the ground beef that I had in my freezer. And so that's what I had, and this will get us through the following week as well. So I'm just adding some dehydrated onion, salt, and pepper. And then I'm just going to let that cook on low, giving it a stir every now and then. And then when it's done, I will put it away and pull it out when I need it. Here are some of the vegetables that I had in my garden. I have a couple of zucchini, some squash, and one cucumber. Next, I have these really ripe bananas that I'm unable to use right now because it is super, super hot, and I won't be doing any baking these days because, you know, we've been in the high 90s. So I'm going to just peel them and throw them into a freezer bag and stick them in the freezer for a later day when I'm ready to make some banana bread or banana muffins or something like that. That's all I was able to do for meal prepping this week, and I feel good about it. I feel like whatever you can do is good enough. Having some things put up and easy access to get to helps out a lot throughout the week. Having my meat cooked and being able to just grab it and reheat it and add it to recipes is very helpful, but I know some weeks I can't do that, and that's okay too. The following night, Bill gave me a call and said he wanted to pick up Subway on his way home from work, and so that's what we did for dinner that night. It was just the two of us, so we just had Subway. The next night, I just grabbed my big Tupperware bowl full of ground beef already cooked previously, and I added some taco seasoning and water to it. In another pan, I added some olive oil and got that heated up, and then just put my tortilla in. First, I am making Cameron's quesadilla because he's really basic and doesn't really like anything extra in his. So I'm just going to make his first and use some of the meat just cooked up plain without any other ingredients, just the taco seasoning. And his are going to be just the meat and the cheese. I had these slices of white American cheese in the refrigerator and they just melt up so nice and smooth that I decided that this was what we were going to use on our quesadillas. I have a little too much oil in my pan, but I just ended up patting it down with a paper towel afterwards. Just giving it a flip here to get both sides golden brown. And that is the basic quesadilla for Cam. So for the rest of us, I'm adding some green chilies to the pan with the rest of the cooked taco meat and a can of chili beans that I did not drain because the chili beans have the seasoning in the sauce. And so these are going to be just like chili in a pocket. So I like my beans a little mashed up, so I'm using my little meat masher thingy and giving it a little bit of a mash just to get the beans kind of squashed up. And so I added some cayenne pepper and some chili powder. Then I added the chili and the cheese to half of the tortilla. I just give that tortilla a few minutes to cook in the pan and then I fold it over. I have already folded it once and then reopened it thinking that you would like to see me fold it over. I don't know why. But anyway, it all melted up anyway. It's all good. So voila, the quesadilla is done. I'm just giving it a good press so that it all seals up tight. And then I just give this, cut it into threes, and then I cut this one a little bit wonky because I like to have the middle piece have just stay connected in the middle, so I cut it in uneven pieces, and I know that would bother some people. Doesn't bother me. And so here are our chili cheese quesadillas, and these were so good to me because even though it's 90 something degrees out there, it is fall in my heart. So I am ready for chili season. And I just had a little applesauce cup with mine, and that was dinner. The next night I grabbed my good old Tupperware bowl with the ground beef, and here I am using an old-fashioned can opener. Haha. And so I'm going to make some stuffed peppers for dinner. I'm adding some sauerkraut to the bottom of this glass baking dish, and then I'm adding a can of diced tomatoes with green chilies. Just mixing that all together. Some salt and some pepper. Mix that all up. So I'm going to cut the tops off of these green bell peppers and take the insides out. I'm doing 3 Bell peppers, I thought I bought 4, but apparently I didn't. There's the possibility that there's one rolling around in my trunk. I'm sure we'll find out. So I'm gonna put the tops of those away and I will put those in the freezer later. And so my dish holds 3 peppers, I guess, so that worked out. Next, I'm just sprinkling a little bit of salt on the inside of the peppers because I think salt makes everything taste better, especially vegetables. And bell peppers are so bland, and I really do like them, but I think they just need a little something to help them along. So next I'm gonna add some crushed tomatoes to the inside of these peppers because I am not going to mix my meat and rice mixture up ahead of time before I put it in the pepper. I'm just being lazy and I don't want to dirty up a whole lot of dishes. This is supposed to be an easy meal and quick to fix. So instead of using an individual bowl to mix my meat and my sauce and my rice and everything together, I'm just going to use these little bell peppers as their own tiny little mixing bowl. So I'm adding some meat on top of the crushed tomatoes next. And this has been warmed up in a pan on the stove. I had visitors while filming this part of the video, so I lost the part where I added the minute rice and mixing it all up. Then I added some mozzarella cheese and some Parmesan cheese on top of these peppers. And on this day, I just cooked these in my air fryer. I put some foil on top of them to keep the cheese from burning up, but the air fryer blew the foil off, and so they did get a little overly brown. Next, I'm making some jalapenos for Bill because he's not a big fan of the bell peppers, although he did end up eating some of those too, and he did like them. So that happens sometimes when he doesn't feel like he's gonna like something, and then he really ends up liking it. He doesn't like bell peppers very much, so he didn't eat a lot of it. He ate some of the pepper part, but the rest of it he really liked. So that's good to know. I have not ever made stuffed peppers because I thought he didn't like them, but on this day I thought I will make them, and I know that I like them, and I would make him some stuffed jalapenos since I know that he likes those. So here I am just removing the insides of these jalapenos, and this time I didn't have much trouble. They didn't burn my fingers or my face, so these must have been some mild ones, although he said that they were pretty hot. And he likes hot, so that's a good thing for him. And all I'm going to do with these is just add some taco seasoning to the meat that's still in the pan on the stove that I used for the stuffed peppers. Normally I do a mixture of sausage and sour cream, but this time I didn't have those ingredients on hand, so I just used a packet of taco seasoning, and I've already added some cheese to this, so that's why it looks all thick like that. So the meat was already warm, and I put some cheese in it and got that melted together. I added some crushed red peppers and some of the crushed tomatoes to it just to give it another dimension. And then I just added those to the peppers. I don't believe that he really liked these as much as my original recipe that I make with the sausage and cream cheese, but he did like them. And I mean, how can you not? It's tacos and cheese and a jalapeno. Yum. Our son Josiah was over when we had this for dinner, and he asked me to make those whenever he comes back over again. So he liked those, and so that's good to know. Another thing that he does like. I don't know. I feel like as a mom to many, I am always trying to remember who likes what and, what foods can I make for all of the kids to make each one of them happy. It's just always been that way since they were little. And, even though they're grown up, I still do the same things. And here I'm just throwing these green pepper tops into a freezer bag, and I'm gonna throw them right into the freezer because that's the quickest and easiest thing for me to do with them. I have 3 different things going on that I'm cooking right now. So, I mean, the fact that I'm even getting to this step is a miracle. So I'm also going to put the remainder of the tomatoes, the fresh tomatoes, into a freezer bag. I'm gonna lay it flat. I'm gonna lay it on top of something flat inside my freezer so that it can freeze like this, and then I have saved it and not wasted it. The stuffed peppers are in the air fryer, and like I said, the air fryer was blowing the foil off because I didn't have it on there tight, so I just took it off and it did fine. This is how they turned out. It was a little bit well done, the cheese was, but it's fine. That's how we like it. And so this was the way that they turned out, and they were really good. And like I said, even Bill tried it and he liked it. He didn't eat a whole pepper, but he ate some of the pepper. And so this was the inside of it. And I know that I didn't show you the part where I put the rice in, and I just used minute rice because I knew these were going to cook up quick in the air fryer, and I wanted to make sure that the rice got done. But otherwise, I would have probably used regular rice if I was cooking them in the oven for longer. And here are those jalapenos. Again, more burnt cheese, but there were no complaints. And then, yeah, some hamburger helper for Cameron, the picky one. Last, we were having a really easy summer dinner that we didn't do any cooking at all for. So I am just getting a cucumber from my garden cut up, and we're going to have that on the side. It was a really big cucumber, and it had a lot of seeds. So hopefully we get some that are a little better than this. I don't really care for all the seeds. I'm just adding a little salt to those. And then I'm going to slice up a tomato that came from my neighbor's garden to go on our sandwiches. This tomato was so good. It was really, really ready to be eaten those. But there just really is nothing like a garden tomato to me. I just love them. We toasted some bread in our toaster oven, so I guess maybe you would consider that cooking. I don't know. And then we added some mayonnaise and just made turkey club sandwiches. I picked up some turkey from the deli and also got some pre-cooked bacon. I know it costs more, but it was late in the evening and we wanted something really quick. I think we ate dinner about 8 o'clock on this night, so it was a very easy meal to just throw together, kind of. And so I'm just going to get my sandwich made. And yeah, I piled on the turkey and the bacon. But I always say, if you're having a sandwich for dinner, make it special. And there's my sandwich, and since I have to have my tomato touching the mayonnaise and the bacon touching the mayonnaise, then the turkey goes in the middle. That's just how I do it. And so I'm having a little bit of the cheddar macaroni salad that also came from the deli with this, and then some of the cucumbers on the side also. This was just a really good cold dinner on a hot summer night. And that is it for this week's What's for Dinner. Thank you so much for coming by and seeing what my family did for dinner this week. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more of our future videos, please consider hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell. Bye for now.